Brooke Logan, ever the picture of poised elegance in a crimson sheath dress, leaned forward, her hand gently covering his. Ridge, she'll be here any minute. Steffi's plane landed an hour ago. Traffic's a nightmare. Ridge nodded, but his eyes betrayed the storm inside. I know, Logan. It's just, after everything with Luna, with that poor girl surviving that fall off the cliff, I need to see my daughter. Need to know she's safe, that Hayes and Kelly are okay. Brooke squeezed his hand tighter, her voice a soothing murmur. They are. And Finn's probably losing his mind waiting for them at the house. Just then, the door burst open, and there she was, Steffy Forrester, radiant despite the jet lag, her blonde hair cascading in loose waves, little Hayes clinging to her leg with a toy plane in hand, and Kelly skipping ahead, backpack slung over one shoulder. Daddy! Kelly squealed, launching herself into Ridge's arms. Steffi smiled, but it didn't quite reach her eyes as she set down her carry-on. Miss me? Ridge enveloped her in a bear hug, inhaling the familiar scent of her perfume mixed with the faint salt of the ocean from their European getaway. More than you know, kiddo. Welcome home. Brooke rose to join the embrace, whispering to Steffi, we're all here now. Family. But as the joyful reunion unfolded, Finn Finnegan burst in from the hallway, his scrubs slightly rumpled from a rushed shift at the hospital, his face alight with disbelief and joy. Steffi. You're back. I thought you said another week. He swept Hayes up first, planting a kiss on the toddler's forehead, then pulled Steffi close, his lips brushing hers in a kiss that lingered just a beat too long for the room's sudden hush. Surprise, Steffi murmured against his mouth, her hands framing his face. We couldn't stay away. Not with everything happening here. Finn pulled back slightly, his brow furrowing. Everything. Like what? Lee's been dodging my calls about Luna's recovery, and I heard something about Bill Spencer stirring up trouble again. Steffi's expression darkened, the warmth of the moment evaporating like mist in the morning sun. Luna's alive, Finn. She survived that insane drop into the Pacific. But it's worse, turns out she orchestrated the whole thing with Poppy to trap Will into fatherhood. Bill's furious, he's talking custody battles for the baby. Finn's arms dropped, Hayes squirming down to play with Kelly on the floor. Wait, what? Luna's baby. That's our nightmare all over again. How did she even survive? Ridge interjected, his voice gravelly with concern. Baker pulled her out half-drowned, hypothermic, but she's stable now in protective custody. The Logans are reeling, Hope's beside herself, blaming herself for trusting her. Brooke shot Ridge a sharp look. No one's blaming Hope. This is on Luna and her twisted schemes. Steffi crossed her arms, her CEO instincts kicking in. And Forresters. We need to circle the wagons. Hope for the future is tanking without a designer, and with Luna's scandal hitting the tabloids, the press is circling like sharks. Finn nodded slowly, processing. I'll head to the hospital after this, check on her myself. But Steffi, promise me we're solid now. No more running off to Europe when things get messy. She touched his cheek, her voice soft but firm. No more running. We're in this together. As the family lingered in the boardroom, sharing hurried stories of gelato in Rome and playground adventures in Paris, the undercurrent of tension hummed like a live wire. Kelly tugged at Steffi's skirt. Mommy, is Auntie Luna okay? Daddy said she fell in the big water. Steffi knelt, forcing a smile. She's tough, sweetie. Like you. But inside, the return felt less like homecoming and more like stepping into a minefield. Across town at Spencer Publications, the atmosphere was a powder keg ready to ignite, the late morning light glinting off the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the bustling streets of Los Angeles. Bill Spencer paced his opulent office like a caged lion, his silk tie loosened, sleeves rolled up to reveal forearms corded with barely contained rage. Liam Spencer stood by the desk, arms crossed, his boyish features etched with worry, while Will Spencer, now a lanky teenager on the cusp of manhood, slouched in a leather chair, scrolling idly on his phone to avoid the storm brewing. "Dad, can we not do this right now?" Will muttered, not looking up. "I just want to forget Luna ever happened." Bill whirled on him, his voice booming. "Forget? That scheming little viper tried to trap you, son. Got herself knocked up on purpose, faked her own death scare to reel you in like some lovesick fool. And now she's alive, spilling her guts to the cops about how Poppy helped her drug half the city." Liam stepped between them, his tone measured but urgent. "Bill, yelling at him won't change facts. Luna's in custody, the baby's safe, Katie's already filing adoption papers. Let's focus on that." Bill slammed a fist on the desk, papers scattering like fallen leaves. "Focus. That baby could be a Spencer's blood, Liam. If there's even a chance. I won't let some Forresters swoop in and claim what's ours. I'm calling my lawyers, custody fight starts today." Will finally looked up, his eyes red-rimmed, voice cracking. "It's my kid, Dad. Or it was supposed to be. But Luna lied about everything. The dates, the accident, she said she loved me, but it was all a game." Liam's heart twisted, he placed a hand on his brother's shoulder. "Hey, none of this is on you. You were just being the good guy, falling for someone who seemed real." Bill softened fractionally, dropping into his chair with a heavy exhale. "Damn right it's not on you, Will. It's on her. And Poppy Nozawa, that witch is next on my list." Just then, the door swung open, and Katie Logan burst in, her heels clicking authoritatively, a stack of legal folders under one arm. "Bill Spencer, if you're about to declare war on the Forresters, at least let me arm you properly." She tossed the folders onto the desk, her sharp gaze taking in the trio. "I've got Judge Baker's preliminary report. Luna's confession implicates Poppy in the fertility scheme, but the baby's paternity is still pending DNA. Clean, no tampons." Bill arched a brow, a ghost of his trademark smirk flickering. "Katie, May Knight in shining armor. What's the play?" She leaned against the desk, crossing her arms. "We push for emergency guardianship. Show the court you're stable, committed, unlike Luna's chaotic orbit. But Bill, think about Will. This could drag him through hell." Will stood abruptly, shoving his phone in his pocket. "I don't care. If that baby's mine, I want to know. But if it's not, I just want out." Liam nodded in solidarity. "We'll get through it, bro. Spencers stick together." As Katie outlined battle strategies, witness lists, character affidavits, the room filled with a reluctant unity, the scent of fresh coffee from the sideboard mingling with the acrid tang of determination. Bill raised his mug in a mock toast. To winning. And to making sure no one ever cons a Spencer again. But beneath the bravado, doubt lingered, a shadow that no amount of bluster could banish. In the softly lit therapy room at Cedars-Sinai, the clock on the wall ticked past noon, marking the fragile boundary between confession and confrontation. Deacon Sharp sat on the edge of a plush armchair, his tattooed hands clasped tightly, knuckles white as he stared at the floor.
Across from him, Dr. Taylor Hayes, poised, empathetic, her white coat a beacon of calm, leaned forward, notepad in lap. "Deacon, you've been quiet. Last session you mentioned Sheila again. What's weighing on you today?" Deacon lifted his head, his rugged features softening under her gaze. "It's her, Taylor. Sheila. She's everywhere. I thought cutting ties would end it, but she shows up at Il Giardino, pleading, eyes like a kicked puppy. Says she's changed, that she needs me." Taylor nodded slowly, her pen poised but unmoving. "And how does that make you feel? Needed? Or trapped?" He chuckled bitterly, running a hand through his salt and pepper hair. "Both. Hell, mostly trapped. But then I see you here, listening without judgment, and I think, maybe I can do better. Be better. Taylor's expression warmed, a professional boundary blurring just enough to let humanity peek through. You are better, Deacon. Every time you choose therapy over denial, you're proving that. Sheila's chaos isn't your destiny. As if summoned by the mention, a shadow flickered outside the frosted glass door. Sheila Carter, her red hair a fiery halo, ear pressed discreetly to the panel. She'd followed him here, driven by that insatiable hunger for connection, her breath shallow as she eavesdropped. Inside, Deacon continued, voice dropping to a raw whisper. I fired her from the restaurant, Taylor. Told her to stay away. But last night, she cornered me in the alley, said she knows about Luna's mess, that she could help fix it for me. Like I'm some mark in her con. Taylor set her notepad aside, her blue eyes locking onto his. And you said no? He nodded fiercely. Damn right. But it scares me, how easy it is to slip back. You're the only one who sees the man I want to be, not the screw-up everyone else remembers. A beat of silence stretched, charged with unspoken possibility. Taylor reached out, her hand hovering before gently covering his. I see him, Deacon. Clearly. The hug came naturally then, a tentative bridge across the chasm of their shared history, bodies pressing in mutual solace, the door's shadow forgotten. Outside, Sheila's face twisted in fury, her nails digging into her palms until they drew blood. Taylor Hayes, she hissed under her breath, backing away into the sterile hallway. You think you can steal him? Over my dead body. The hospital's fluorescent hum swallowed her retreat, but the venom lingered, a promise of reckoning yet to unfold. Back in the session, Taylor pulled away first, clearing her throat. That felt supportive. But boundaries, Deacon. We're making progress. He smiled faintly, the first genuine one of the day. Yeah. Progress. As he gathered his jacket to leave, the weight on his shoulders felt marginally lighter, though the echo of Sheila's unseen rage pulsed like a distant thunder. The afternoon sun dipped lower, painting the cliffs overlooking the Pacific in hues of amber and rose, but inside Hope Logan's modest apartment, the light felt dimmer, filtered through half-drawn blinds that did little to ward off the chill of uncertainty. Hope sat cross-legged on the sofa, a half-empty mug of chamomile tea cooling in her hands, her eyes distant as she replayed the week's horrors, Luna's miraculous survival, the twisted plot to ensnare Will, the fracture it carved through her family. The door clicked open, and Brooke swept in, arms laden with takeout bags from that little Italian place Hope loved. Darling, you look like you haven't eaten in days. Sit tight, pasta's on the menu. Hope managed a weak smile, setting the mug aside. Mom, you didn't have to. I'm fine. Just processing. Brooke unpacked the containers with efficient grace, her designer slacks swishing softly. Processing Luna's betrayal? Or the fact that Deacon's playing therapist roulette with Taylor? Hope's eyes widened, a spark of surprise cutting through the fog. What? Taylor? As in my Aunt Taylor. Brooke nodded, sliding a plate toward her daughter. Saw them at the hospital earlier, hugging of all things. Innocent, probably, but with your father's history. Hope poked at her fettuccine, appetite fleeing. Dad's history is ancient. But Luna, God, Mom, she was like a sister to me. We trusted her, and she faked her death to cover up impregnating herself for Bill's money? Will's devastated. Brooke sat beside her, thigh to thigh, the maternal anchor Hope craved. Will's strong like his father. But you've been carrying everyone else's pain. Hope for the future's on life support, and now this custody mess? It's too much. Hope sighed, leaning her head on Brooke's shoulder. The line's a disaster without a lead designer. Carter's pushing anonymous submissions, but nothing clicks. And Liam. I keep thinking about him, how steady he was when Beth was taken. Brooke's arm encircled her, voice dropping to that conspiratorial tone honed over decades of Logan sisterhood. Then go to him, sweetheart. Deacon and I were talking. Life's too short for what-ifs. Liam's still there waiting. He never stopped loving you. Hope lifted her head, vulnerability etching lines around her eyes. But Carter, he's been my rock through the relaunch hell. Brooke cupped her daughter's face, thumb brushing a stray tear. Carter's a good man, but love isn't about settling. It's about that fire, the kind you and Liam have. Promise me you'll think about it. Hope nodded slowly, the words sinking in like seeds in fertile soil. I promise. As they ate in companionable silence, the apartment filled with the comforting aroma of garlic and basil, a fragile peace settling. Outside, the ocean whispered secrets to the shore, and Hope felt the first stirrings of resolve, a bold move, perhaps, toward reclaiming what her heart had never truly released. But the path ahead twisted with complications: Carter's quiet devotion, Steffi's impending judgment upon her return, and the specter of Luna's web still tangling loose ends. By mid-afternoon, the bullpen at Forrester Creations buzzed with the controlled chaos of deadline presses, phones trilling and assistants darting like hummingbirds. Carter Walton stood at the conference table, a stack of glossy portfolios fanned out before him, his tailored suit impeccable as always. Rich hovered nearby, arms crossed, while an anonymous designer, Zoe, a fresh-faced talent with a portfolio of ethereal gowns, pitched her vision for Hope for the future. Imagine silks that cascade like waterfalls, ridge, sustainable, bold, empowering women without apology. Rich nodded appreciatively, but his mind wandered to Steffi's arrival, the family dynamics shifting like sand. It's got potential, Zoe. But we need edge, something to claw back market share from those knockoffs flooding Milan. Carter interjected smoothly, his baritone a steady anchor. Agreed. Hope's brand is about vulnerability turned strength. These sketches capture that. As Zoe gathered her boards, thanking them profusely, Carter's phone buzzed, a text from Hope. Can we talk? Soon. His thumb hovered, a flicker of unease tightening his jaw. Ridge caught it, clapping a hand on his shoulder. Everything good, Walton? You look like you swallowed a lemon. Carter pocketed the phone, forcing a smile. Just the usual legal briefs piling up. And with Luna's case, Bill's lawyers are circling like vultures. Ridge grunted in agreement. Spencer's always been a bulldog. But Steffi's back now. She'll handle the PR spin. You focus on keeping Hope's line afloat. Carter nodded, but as Ridge exited to check on the fabric swatches, his thoughts churned. Hope had been distant since Luna's survival hit the news, pulling away, her touches fleeting. Was it the stress, or something deeper? He fired off a reply, name the time. Always here for you. Meanwhile, in the adjacent office, Brooke rifled through files, her mind on the therapy scene she'd witnessed. Taylor, what are you playing at? She murmured to herself. The door opened, and Taylor strode in, fresh from her session, her stride purposeful. Brooke, you look like you're plotting world domination. Brooke straightened, a wry smile masking her probe. Just tying up loose ends. Heard you had a session with Deacon. Everything professional. Taylor paused, sensing the undercurrent. Of course. He's a client, Brooke. Struggling, but committed to growth. Brooke stepped closer, voices low. Good. Because with Ridge and me finally solid, I don't need old flames flickering. Taylor's eyes sparkled with amusement. Jealous, Logan? After all these years. Brooke laughed softly. Wary. We're family now, sort of. Just be careful. Taylor touched her arm briefly. Always. As she left, the exchange hung in the air, a reminder that in the Forrester-Logan orbit, lines blurred as easily as they were drawn. Carter, overhearing snippets from the hall, felt a pang, Hope's text burning a hole in his pocket, the future of their fragile partnership teetering on unspoken words. The evening shadows lengthened across the Spencer mansion's manicured lawns, where Will sat alone on the patio, a baseball glove idly tossed beside him, the distant crash of waves a mocking lullaby to his insomnia. Liam joined him quietly, 2 beers in hand, non-alcoholic for Will, a small concession to the night's gravity. Can't sleep either, huh? Liam settled into the wicker chair, cracking his open. Will accepted the bottle, twisting the cap off with unnecessary force. How could I? Luna's face keeps popping up, smiling, lying, then that scream as she went over the cliff. Thought she was gone, and now, she's in some psych ward, spilling how she timed the pregnancy to hook me. Liam sipped slowly, choosing words like steps on thin ice. She played us all well. but you're not defined by her con. Dad's gearing up for war, but maybe adoption's the clean break. Katie's amazing. She'd give that kid everything. Will stared at the horizon, voice hollow. What if it's mine, Liam? What if I feel something when I hold it? Liam leaned forward, earnest. Then you're the dad it needs. Better than Bill, better than me with Beth sometimes. But if not, let it go. You've got college apps due. Dreams bigger than this mess. A comfortable silence fell, broken only by crickets. Will finally met his brother's gaze. Thanks, man. For not treating me like a kid. Liam ruffled his hair, a gesture from their boyhood days. Always. Inside, Bill watched from the study window, glass of scotch in hand, pride mingling with fierce protectiveness. My boys, he murmured, raising the glass to the stars. But his mind raced to tomorrow's court filings, the battle lines drawn against the Forresters. Katie slipped up behind him, her arms encircling his waist. Plotting already? He turned, pulling her close. Protecting what's ours. Join me. She smiled against his chest. Wouldn't miss it. Tuesday dawned crisp, the Los Angeles skyline shrouded in a rare marine layer that mirrored the fog enshrouding Steffi's mind as she navigated the winding drive to the Forrester estate. Hayes babbled from his car seat, pointing at passing palm trees, while Kelly dozed with headphones on, lost in a playlist of pop anthems. Finn had texted, "Coffee run, be home soon." "Love you." Steffi gripped the wheel tighter, Luna's scandal replaying like a bad loop. By the time she pulled into the driveway, the fog had burned off, revealing Taylor waiting on the porch, a tray of pastries in hand. "Steffi, my fierce girl, come here." They hugged fiercely, the embrace of mothers who knew the razor edge of loss. "Mom, it's chaos back in town. Luna's alive, scheming her way out of jail with sob stories." Taylor ushered her inside, the house fragrant with fresh blooms. "I heard. Deacon's therapy session yesterday," he mentioned it. "Girl's a survivor, but not in a good way." Steffi sank onto the sofa, Hayes toddling to his toy bin. "And Hope? She's unraveling. Pushed Carter to hire some nobody for the line, but it's doomed without vision." Taylor poured tea, her psychiatrist's calm a bomb. "Hope's resilient. But perhaps this is her wake-up call, to Liam, to what's real." Steffi sipped, eyes narrowing. "Liam? After everything with Thomas? No, Mom. She needs to stand on her own." Their conversation deepened, weaving through family fractures, Ridge's loyalty to Brooke, Brooke's wariness of Taylor's session with Deacon. "He's changing, Steph," Taylor insisted softly. "Seeing the good in people doesn't make you weak." Steffi set her cup down. "Maybe. But Sheila's lurking. I can feel it. Like a bad sequel no one asked for." As Finn arrived, juggling lattes and kisses, the home filled with laughter, a temporary fortress against the encroaching drama. Hayes clapped at the foam art, Kelly demanding a sip of Steffi's chai. "Family first," Finn declared, pulling Steffi onto his lap. She melted into him, whispering, "Always." Yet, as the day unfolded, whispers of Luna's survival twist reached them via frantic call from Ridge, presses outside the gate, bakers releasing details. "Brace yourselves." At Isle Giardino, the lunch rush hummed with clinking glasses and murmured gossip, but Deacon's focus was laser-sharp on the kitchen pass, barking orders to keep the chaos at bay. Sheila slipped in through the back door, her presence a chill wind, disguised in a nondescript hoodie. "Deacon, please, just 5 minutes." He spun, spatula in hand, eyes flashing. "Out, Sheila. I mean it." She stepped closer, voice a husky plea. "I saw you with Taylor. Hugging. Does she know about us?" "The nights He cut her off, voice low and lethal. "There is no us. You torched that bridge. Now go before I call security." Her lower lip trembled, eyes glistening with manufactured tears. "I'm trying, Deacon. For you. Luna's mess, I could testify, clear your name from the periphery." He laughed, cold and mirthless. "My name? You're the one who poisoned half the Forresters' gala. Stay away from my daughter, from Hope, from all of it." Sheila's facade cracked, venom seeping through. "Your daughter? Hope's the one who let Luna in. Let her destroy Will. Taylor's just preying on your vulnerability, like she always does with Rich. Deacon advanced, towering over her. Enough. Get out, or I'll make sure Baker adds harassment to your rap sheet. She backed toward the door, but not before hissing, "This isn't over, Sharp. You'll come crawling back." The alley door slammed, leaving Deacon shaken, wiping sweat from his brow. Moments later, Hope entered the dining room, her face pale but determined. "Deacon? Got a sec." He forced composure, leading her to a quiet booth. "Always for you, kid. What's up?" She twisted her napkin, words tumbling. "Luna, it's breaking me. And Mom thinks I should talk to Liam." "Really talk?" Deacon nodded, wisdom born of his own regrets. "Liam's solid gold, Hope. If your heart's pulling that way, don't ignore it. Life's too damn short." She met his gaze, resolve hardening. "You're right. Thanks, Dad." As she left, a spark ignited, Hope's bold move crystallizing. Deacon watched her go, then glanced at his phone. A text from Taylor. "Session tomorrow? Progress." He smiled faintly, the pull undeniable. Wednesday brought a tentative thaw to the Spencer-Logan divide as Katie convened a powwow at her sleek condo overlooking the Hollywood Hills, the scent of fresh scones wafting from the oven. Bill arrived first, bearing documents like talismans, followed by Liam and a reluctant Will. "Katie, tell me you've got a slam dunk," Bill demanded, spreading papers across the coffee table. She handed him a scone, her tone brisk. "Preliminary DNA's expedited. Results Friday. Until then, we file for temp custody based on Luna's instability. Poppy's cooperating, spilling on the fertility clinic scam. Will paced, unable to sit. This baby's innocent. Whatever Luna did, it doesn't deserve limbo." Liam pulled him down gently. "No one's saying it does. But Dad's right, we protect our own." Katie softened, maternal instinct surfacing. "Well, if it's yours, we'll co-parent. If not, our adoption's open." "I meant what I said, I'm ready." Bill eyed her appraisingly. "You and that heart of gold." Spencer's lucky. The door buzzed. Brooke, uninvited but undeterred, a bottle of chilled Prosecco in hand. "Truce? Hope's a wreck. Let's not make this a bloodbath." Bill bristled, but Katie intervened. "Sit. Talk." Brooke poured glasses, her charm offensive in full swing. "Luna fooled us all. But the baby's a Logan Spencer hybrid now, family, not foe." Bill accepted the flute, clinking it against hers. Two uneasy alliances. As strategies merged, shared legal teams, joint visits, the room thawed, laughter punctuating legalese. Will even cracked a joke about Luna's cliffhanger survival. "Like a bad soap plot." Liam chuckled. "Hey, watch it, that's our life." Outside, the city lights twinkled like conspirators, hinting at fragile peace amid the fray. Thursday's therapy hour stretched taut as a bowstring in Taylor's office, where Deacon arrived early, nursing a coffee to steady nerves. "Sheila cornered me yesterday," he confessed immediately, sinking into the chair. Taylor's brow creased. "At the restaurant? What did she say?" He recounted the confrontation, voice edged with frustration. "Threatened to drag you into it. Said you're just using me like you did Rich." Taylor leaned back, processing. Classic projection. Sheila thrives on division. "But Deacon, this is about you reclaiming power. How can we fortify that?" He met her eyes, vulnerability raw. "By believing I deserve better. By leaning on you without fear." The air thickened, her hand finding his again, this time lingering. "You do deserve it. All of it." The hug followed, deeper than before, heart sinking in silent accord. Unbeknownst to them, Sheila lurked in the parking garage below, binoculars trained on the window, rage boiling into a fever pitch. "Taylor, you witch. He's mine." As Deacon left, lighter on his feet, Taylor texted Brooke. Session went well. No drama. But drama brewed elsewhere. Steffy at Forrester, clashing with Hope over line budgets. "We can't throw money at mediocrity, Hope. Find your fire." Hope fired back. "Maybe my fire's elsewhere, with people who trust me." The rift widened, seeds of Steffi's outrage sown.